If you're ever curious what my bedhead looks like, here it is. But I gotta record this before work, so I don't have a lot of time to look fancy for you. So grab your capes and put the underwear on the outside, because we're talking about Man of Steel.
Musical styles are still a very important form of communication for our young people. Hi, I'm Joe Feinstein.
Look, if you don't have the next 10 minutes free to listen to my full explanation of this film, then at least let me get to my core point as quickly as possible. There's about 15-ish films at this point that make up the DCEU, and regardless of what cut or version of a film you may prefer, you gotta keep one very important thing in mind. None of this would have happened without Man of Steel. Normally, I try to condense how long I spend talking about cast and crew, but I think doing so in this case would discredit everyone involved and the wonderful project they put together. First off is the writer. Now, before I get to him, yes, I acknowledge that both Jerry Siegel and Christopher Nolan had writing credits, but let's keep in mind that A, Siegel created Superman and always gets a credit regardless of the project, and B, while Nolan is a wonderful writer and director, he really didn't have a very large hand in what was going on. The large bulk of the writing fell to David S. Goyer. Now, bear in mind, he was doing script writing since 1990, but he truly blew up when he wrote the Blade films, followed immediately after by the Dark Knight trilogy and one of my personal favorites, Jumper. He just has a great imagination and understands how to write creative and fun action scenes. For the cast, our lead is the Warhammer 40k loving Witcher himself, Henry Cavill.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PC.
We get the lovely Amy Adams from Arrival, as well as Julie and Julia. Diane Lane is in this bitch, and though I love a lot of her work, none more so than her role in Streets of Fire. Michael Shannon from Boardwalk Empire, The Shape of Water, and Bullet Train. Russell Crowe from Les Mis, Gladiator, and 3:10 to Yuma. Kevin Costner from Yellowstone, 13 Days, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I mean, even the smaller roles are played by some pretty huge names. Lawrence Fishburne, Harry Lennox, Julian Richings, Richard Schiff, and Christopher Maloney, who ends up in the Phantom Zone. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the film's director, Zack Snyder. Now, apparently, he's somebody you either love or hate, and if I had to pick a camp, I'm gonna have to say I love him, because he's done far more projects that I've enjoyed than ones that I haven't. Even before kicking off the DCEU, he had a fun track record of visually captivating and energetic media. From doing music videos from My Chemical Romance, Rod Stewart, and Morrissey, he would then show his chops on the big screen with Dawn of the Dead, 300, and Watchmen. So pairing his visual eye with Goyer's bombastic writing would obviously make this film the absolute home run that it turned out to be. Now, there are plenty of reasons why this film continues to be my favorite in the DCEU, possibly only tied with The Suicide Squad, but I want to start by talking about the film's villain, General Zod. Michael Shannon has never given a bad performance in anything that he's been in, so you should already know the moment he shows up on screen, you're gonna have a good time. Pairing his rage and strength with the fact that at the end of the day he's literally fulfilling his purpose makes for such an incredible villain. Even when he's being cold and calculating, he's trying to save his people. It's not that he wants power for power's sake or is just out for revenge. He was literally created to do what is needed for his species' survival. He flat out says it to Clark.
I exist only to protect Krypton. That is the sole purpose for which I was born.
And just before Clark destroys the scout ship, you can feel the desperation in Zod's voice when he begs Clark not to do it.
If you destroy this ship, you destroy Krypton!
And it's not to say his second-in-command wasn't a fun character, it's just the fact that he steals the show that much. On the flip side of that, we have Henry Cavill as Clark, and oh my god, what a performance. And if I'm quite honest, not even just Cavill, even the child actors who were playing him in the flashbacks, they're all solid. It's kind of wild, actually. He strikes such a wonderful balance of positivity and hope, but also sheer power and determination. The conversation he has with his dad's AI is so wonderfully written, and it sets up the theme of hope even through despair perfectly.
In time, they will join you in the sun, Cal. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Seeing his happy moments like learning to fly and reaching orbit, to his moments of anger during battle, I don't think his performance will ever be topped in this role. The same way many people say Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, Henry Cavill is Superman. The Ultimate Edition of Batman vs Superman and the Snyder Cut of Justice League gives him even more time to shine, so if by chance you haven't seen those yet, you should really go watch those. Also, let's not sleep on the ladies in this film, because they are all legit. Lara, as little time as we get with her, shows how strong of a person she is. She's the first Kryptonian woman in God knows how many thousands of years to do a natural birth and tanked it like a champion. She decides not to leave the planet even knowing it's gonna blow up since she lost her husband and her son. And she makes the incredibly painful decision to send her son off-world. Martha is shown to be just as strong and supportive, both in the flashback and during the film. All she wants is for Clark to be happy and safe. And while standing in her yard, staring down 3 power armor wearing aliens, she still stays 10 toes.
Go to hell.
And let's not forget Miss Lois Lane, because
I know you see her right here though. She's so bad.
I love the fact that watching the film from her perspective is a straight journalism investigation, the way she's meant to be portrayed. It's quickly established that she's willing to go to dangerous locations to get the most comprehensive story, and will go to severe legal lengths to even combat the US military trying to stop her. And when she finally tracks down Clark, it's because she did her homework and followed every lead and figured out the pattern. She didn't just stumble onto things. She's an intelligent and near fearless woman. And I say near fearless, but come on, you get hurled off the back of an alien ship while the city below you is crumbling, and let's see how brave you are. I'm telling you, everything else about this film fucking slaps. The score, the cinematography, the fight scenes. I mean, literally any scene where Clark is using his powers. It's just all so much fun. Saving the bus, saving the guys on the oil rig, learning to fly. I mean, hell, this shot alone should have won this film some kind of award. To wrap up, can we think of a better line for this film to end on?
I think not!
Welcome to the planet.
Glad to be here, Lois.
Sure. Are there some odd choices made here and there? Absolutely. Only having Clark's dad be an AI instead of both parents, Lawrence Fishburne deciding to have one diamond earring, the dildo rockets. But even with those things in mind, this film is incredible. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have, go watch it again. You're going to find something new to enjoy about it.
Stop the presses!
Welcome to Kal-El's Kryptonian Trivia, aka 6 Degrees of Muppets. Let's count them down. This film had Diane Lane, who was in Streets of Fire with Willem Dafoe, who was in John Wick with Bridget Moynihan, who was in I, Robot with Will Smith, who was in I Am Legend with Alice Braga, who was in The Suicide Squad with John Cena, who was present when the Muppets did a crossover promotion for hosting WWE Raw in 2012. I had to dig deep for that one, but I did it. Thank you so much for watching as always. In the next week or so, I'm going to be having a very special retrospective coming, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure to like and subscribe. As you know, I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Probably didn't help since I took November off. I was just so burnt out with how many films I did in October, so I hope you understand. But in the meantime, I'm always curious. What do you think?
Musical styles are still a very important form of communication for our young people. Hi, I'm Joe Feinstein.